You're listening to episode 5 of the Wheeler's Dog Podcast. So how do you like that? Huh? The new theme, the new open? Yeah, pretty cool, isn't it? Our good buddy Bob Richardson, Rich Kid Express is the name of one of his bands. He's in lots of bands. He's a very talented individual. I used to work with him in a band called Heaven's Sake, along with Tim Beeman, from the Less Desirables. They were in a band together in Winston called Heaven's Sake. I used to run the lights for them. I used to come up with the flyers that we would post around. I got creative with the artwork on that. Some cases, some of the flyers were even stolen because I would find a trashy magazine like Hustler or something like that, where they package some of them together for quick sale after they've gotten old. So then I would cut out the girls and make a collage where all the naughty parts were covered up. But then people would steal those because they really liked them in the different bathrooms of the bars. But Bob Richardson, drummer, guitarist, songwriter, producer, Squib Kick Records label mogul. That's what Bob Richardson does. So many thanks to Bob for that intro. And looks like I need to take a break now because as soon as I start recording, the mill drives up. She's been out today. This is like her bi-weekly outing out of the house, so I'm sure she went to pick up some booze and some nicotine-type items, but she doesn't inhale. She's a vapor, but she doesn't inhale. No. But when she can't find that damn thing, oh, good Lord. She becomes as mean as a junkyard dog. Hold on, I'll be right back. Sorry about that. It was unavoidable. And it happens. Yeah, like I said, she only goes out once every 2 weeks. So she was getting low on Lime-A-Ritas, booze in general. She brought back a bunch of the Budweiser Seltzer. So I got to give one of those a try. Counts on Untapped. One more towards the badge. I'm working on 5,000. But I need to try those. She was looking for the Corona Seltzer water. She took a real shine to those over the weekend. But the Dollar General didn't have them. Yep, that's where she likes to shop. She likes to go to Dollar General, and she likes to go to Walgreens or the CVS. The last time she was at, I shouldn't say the last time, but one time she was at CVS, and it turned into a demolition derby. She managed to hit 2 vehicles in the parking lot. I'm down the street at the Beer Den at Lowe's. That's a grocery store. It's a chain in this area, North Carolina. And they have a beer den. So they have 12 taps. And they get all kinds of beer from all over the world. Mostly from the United States and mostly from North Carolina. But I got interrupted to go up there and see what the hell was going on. So, yeah, that's what was going on. She hit one car, backed up, and right into another vehicle. So, but, I suppose as people age, they kind of get that way, but I have, I don't think I've ridden with the woman, but I have driven behind her, and it's, good Lord, I don't know how she survived this long. She can't drive worth crap. But anyway, I digress. So again, welcome back to the Wheeler's Dog Podcast. This is episode number 5. And this is the last freebie. Number 6, it's going to be on patreon.com/wheelersdog. And the only way you can get that audio is if you donate or support me at patreon.com/wheelersdog. Starts at $4 a month, then $8. You can read all about it. Patreon.com/wheelersdog. And today, what I'd kind of like to talk about, well, first of all, let me tell you something weird today. I get to my location. I transfer trucks for a big rental chain. And I transfer trucks to be worked on at the shop. So I get to the shop and my bladder is just roaring at me. I've got to go, you know? So I write down all my information while I'm in the truck, and I don't know if you can hear that, but the dog is shaking, rattling, and rolling in here. But I'm in the truck writing down all of my information, and my bladder is just screaming at me. So I've got to go. And so I walk in, I can see in the office 2 guys and some dude looking into the ceiling tiles doing something. His ladder's like right there in the way of the door. So I did not put my stuff down in the office like I usually do, then skip across to the bathroom. Nope. I just laid my stuff there where I could and went in. And as I was starting to walk to the urinal, there's a woman sitting there on the bench, you know, because people often change clothes there at the shop. I guess there's showers. I don't know. I've never ventured past the point of urination and defecation stations. But anyway, she's sitting there and I said, "Oh, I'm very sorry. I didn't know you were in here. I'll come back later." Really what I was going to do is look for another bathroom. And she said, no, that's fine. Just go on into the stall. I was like, "Are you sure?" She goes, "Yeah, there's somebody else in here." And there's a dude who says, "Yeah, man, I'm in here." Some dude's having a squat. So I'm like, okay, you know, it's not like I haven't urinated in a room where women have been. You know, I've done it in clubs, you know, because sometimes long lines develop at ladies' rooms. And then sometimes there's people doing drugs, whether it's smoking, snorting, whatever. There's been many times at the Greensboro Coliseum, especially in the club. I don't know what it's called now. It's named Schiffman's, I think. But when I used to work at Rock 92, we could go up to the club. We'd have club access. And, you know, you go up there as a bar and you can drink your beers and everything, and they're reasonably priced as opposed to the ones out on the concourse. And then sometimes they would put out food, and sometimes it was a fantastic meal. Most of the time it was just kind of hors d'oeuvre kind of things. But if you were close enough to that club, you didn't have to fight all the other people going to the bathroom, and that was a great thing. And oftentimes there would be women in the men's room there at the club. And again, also at the Coliseum, there's been women that go in there to the men's room to do their business. I've seen it done there. I've seen it done at clubs. So it really wasn't that off-putting, but never has that happened in the workplace. No, kind of bizarre. I just thought I'd share that. And one of the things I wanted to talk about today is telemarketing calls. I mean, nowadays, you know, with your phones, you know, you get calls like that. But nobody ever answers them because you don't have their number programmed into your phone. And really, why should you? But I used to answer them all the time. I love to have fun with telemarketers. Yes. People would call up and I'd go, "Yeah, what can I do for you?" No, he's outside. He's sleeping in the Dodge. Yeah. He likes to sleep in the Dodge. We have a Dodge up on blocks, and he likes to sleep out in the Dodge, especially in the spring and the fall. He don't do it too much in the winter, but he just likes to sleep in the Dodge outside. It's an old 70 Dodge. Don't run. No, it's just up on blocks. Yeah. So, hold on a minute. I'll holler for him. See if he wants to come in and talk to you. I'd like drop the phone and I'd walk across the room and go like, "Hey, Eugene! Eugene! Eugene!" And I'd walk back over to the phone. "No, I'm sorry, he's dead asleep. Ain't getting him out of that Dodge today. Nice day like this. No. You might want to call him back later." And that would be it. Yeah, I would just do that kind of stuff, just to kind of screw with these people. And maybe if they even start talking around, like, "Yeah, I called up this one place. This dude sleeps in a junked out Dodge in the yard." So just kind of had fun with that. And then one time, I should really be ashamed of this one, but I thought it was brilliant. This dude called up, and I had caller ID on my phone. And I would just go, yeah, yeah. I just like talk gibberish. And then, they'd ask if, I was at home or something and go, no. Just go on like that. Well, are you able to make decisions? The guy was selling like timeshares. And he was like, are you able to make decisions? Are you 18? Yeah, 18. And just, talking like I'm just serious special needs. And so the guy jumps into this sales pitch. And he's talking about beaches and all this. Do you like going to the beach? Yeah. And I'm just going along with it. Just seeing how long I can keep this guy in the line. And he says, would this be something that you'd be interested in? Yeah. And he's just going on. And then suddenly I just go, what are you doing? You know you're not supposed to be on that telephone, damn it. What the hell are you doing? And I'm like slapping my leg like, ow. And then finally I pick up the phone and, I had a dial tone. Because back then you had a dial tone. So that guy like got off the phone real quick. Another thing that I like to do with telemarketers is they would call up and, they'd ask for me and I'd go, well, hold on. And I'd just put the phone down. I'd go back to my video game that I was playing, or maybe I was watching a movie. Because back then, I would either rent movies or I had like every movie channel that was available on DirecTV. Like all the Encores, everything. HBO, Cinemax, Showtimes, all that. Had everything. Because I had a lot of disposable income working at Capitol Records. But I would put them on hold, and then I'd pick up, like 5 minutes like, hey, you still there? Oh, okay, well, hold on. And I would just do that the whole time. And I love doing that to see how long they would hold. As a matter of fact, I started doing that when I was producing some talk shows on WSJS. Well, it's talk radio. And people would call in. The first thing they would say, they would go, well, I don't want to be on the air, but I would go, hold on. And I'd just put them on the hold and just leave them. I think it's like over 7 minutes one person actually held. Because my thing was, don't call a talk radio station unless you're going to talk. So I would put these people on hold and just leave them. And I would mark, because you had like the call screen software. The other guy in the other room, he could see who was on the line. I would say, don't want to talk on air. Do not pick up. And I would change the color to it so he knew not to pick up. And just see how long they would stay. And we just kind of had fun with that. And anyway, it was my fun with telephones. Yeah. And there's something else I want to bring to your attention is music. Music has been part of my life for as long as I can remember. I've always been into music. And if you follow me on Instagram, Facebook, if you're my Facebook buddy, you always know what CD I've got in the truck for the day. And that's what I do. I just carry one CD with me for listening. Because I learned the hard way from someone else's trials and tribulations that if you take a big collection with you and something happens to your vehicle, whether it's broken into or there's a car accident, you're going to lose a lot of cherished items. So I only take one CD with me a day. That's it. So I like to post them on Instagram. It ends up on Facebook. It's on my Twitter at Eugene B. Sims. Also at Wheeler's Dog. That's on Twitter as well. If you'd like to follow that, I'd appreciate that. Don't forget to follow the Wheeler's Dog page on Facebook. But anyway, one of my big loves is music. Has been. I used to be, believe it or not, an avid radio listener when I was a kid because, I didn't have any money. I would listen to my parents' albums, and occasionally I'd get an album for like a gift or something like that. But I wasn't going out purchasing albums all the time. I never really bought singles. I like to hear a whole album. If I like an artist well enough that I like the song, I want to hear the whole damn album, So I would listen to the radio. I would listen to the AM stations in the middle of the night from, I'm in Greensboro, but I'm hearing stations like in Cincinnati. I'm hearing stations in Texas. And it was always bizarre to me. And so I've worked in radio on and off for 35 years. And one of my favorite things I ever did, I used to have this show called the Nonconformist Cult Radio Show. Got the name from the guy named Chip Kinney, he worked with at Capitol Records. And I wanted to get back into radio and work my chops and do it live. So I got on WQFS 90.9 FM, Guilford College Radio. And I would do this show on Friday nights. I took a time slot that nobody wanted. 8 o'clock to 10 o'clock. Nobody wanted this thing. And I got a popular show. Yeah, it took me to writing for Go Triad magazine, actually doing concert reviews for the Greensboro News and Record. So, yes, I'm officially a paid critic. Who knew? I've always been a critic, but at that time I got paid. So I took the Nonconformist Cult Radio Show, and one of the things that I like to do was, besides playing everything, I like to promote local artists. Because another jock at WQFS, her name is Chris, and she has the North Carolina show on there, and I think it's on Tuesday mornings now, 10 to noon. Check out WQFS, their website. Just Google it. She's got a very interesting show. It's more on the eclectic side of rock and roll, whereas I go anywhere from blues to, razor sharp hard rock. I'm everywhere. And even bluegrass, old timey stuff, country. I don't care. If it's good, I like it. So I would often support local artists. And that's one of the things that I miss doing on Rock 92. As a matter of fact, on Rock 92, I would get permission from some of the artists that I would play on WQFS so I could chop up their songs to make music beds for some of the ads that I would do. So I would use their music underneath, or I would use them as a music bed for remote breaks and stuff. So that was always kind of fun. And so I always like to give a helping hand, whatever help I can bring to an artist to help promote their music and stuff. And a guy named Terry Von Cannon was on Facebook. We've met a couple of times. I wouldn't say we're friends, but he's in several triad bands that I've always enjoyed, like Lawyers, Guns, and Money. I've seen him perform many times for the blues competitions for the Piedmont Blues Preservation Society. Again, we've met many times. Well, he's been working on an album called Lap Steel Lunatic. It's going to be released later this summer, and this single that we're about to play will be released on March 27th. It's called Shadow of the Machine, and it's written by Terry Von Cannon, and he's playing all the lap steel guitars. Stephen Worley is playing the drums, and my good buddy Benji Johnson's playing bass. Benji also produced, mixed, and mastered the song there at Earth Tone Studios in Greensboro. He's a fantastic guy. Check out his band, Benjo-Matic. And again, Terry Von Cannon has got this single. So it's called, again, Shadow of the Machine, and it's coming on the summer on the CD called Lap Steel Lunatic. Check it out. And there you go. Shadow of the Machine by Terry Von Cannon. Again, that single is going to be just about everywhere. So if you stream, you can find it March 27th. And again, that album is going to be released later this summer. Lap Steel Lunatic from Terry Von Cannon. Thank you very much, Terry. I enjoyed that quite a bit. Can't wait to hear the rest of it. And going back to the show open, again, that's my buddy Bob Richardson. And he's got an album out, Rich Kid Express. You can find it wherever you stream music. And Bob is carrying the torch, so to speak, of 70s and 80s hard rock. You know, to me, hard rock is my favorite musical genre. I don't like to say heavy metal. There's just, I don't know. I never really cared for the term. And plus it has such a, I don't know. It just, to me, it always makes people sound like they're stupid, you know, for liking heavy metal. And people will say it in such a way that it's almost an insult. I like hard rock, you know? It sounds, it sounds hard and it's rocking. So, hey, why not? Just never cared for the term heavy metal. But he's got this CD out there and you can stream it just about anywhere. Rich Kid Express. Again, Bob is a fantastic songwriter. I used to work with him. He was behind the kit, singing with Heaven's Sake, along with Tim Beeman and a guy named David David Barker. I don't know why his last name just slipped out of my mind, but these guys were a three-piece. Used to storm up the Triad area, and we had quite a show. Everything from flash pots to, blinding. And I'm talking blinding, like real blinding lights. And I like to work the trees. You know, I like to create a mood with the lights, with the ones on the trees. Used to I love doing that. And gosh, I wish if those guys had any video of that stuff, I'd like to go back and see it. Because I thought I did a good job, but I'd like to see how good a job I did. Or if it was just plain crap. Because usually, I was back there at the light board, just knocking back a few Coca-Colas. But again, I want to thank Bob for coming up with that. He asked me if I had any ideas for it, and I didn't. I just told him I was going to use some stuff from my radio days that it's royalty free, so I can use it for nothing. And I just kind of put it together, and I never really thought about it, but my buddy Tim turned me on to it. He was like, hey, that kind of sounds like Enter Sandman by Metallica. I was like, yeah. So that's just kind of bugged me. I mean, it wasn't. It was just kind of a riff off kind of thing. And so Bob, he volunteered to do it, and I was extremely pleased with the results. I mean, I had an expectation that it would be good already, but I didn't think it would be that good. And he didn't know what I was talking about at the beginning, some miscommunication with what I actually wanted. And then once he heard the first podcast, he knew exactly what I needed, and he come up with it. And then today I'm in it with my buddy DJ, and we might punch up the theme a little bit with some different little sound bites and stuff, because he's volunteered. He's like, hey, I got some stuff, man. I think you really like it. So, we'll see where that goes. And just to tell you again, this is the last free podcast. There will be 2 a week. One for the masses. One for anyone that wants it. Everyone that would like to hear can hear one per week. But if you want that bonus episode, well, you gotta pony up at patreon.com/WheelersDog. $4 a month gets you all the audio you can stand. $8, that level, you get VIP kind of treatment. Different little things sent to you during the course of the year. And again, that money gets taken out first of the month, like clockwork, first of the month. And again, $4, you won't miss it. Like I've said before, it's like a Subway sandwich you don't have. Just one you don't have during the month. and you can support me and my endeavors here. Because, doing this stuff, it's not cheap. So, again, check that out. Patreon.com/WheelersDog. And also on the Patreon episodes, I'm not going to hound you to be on Patreon giving me some support. Nope, because you already are, and I'll thank you. I'll thank you, anyone who's joined already. So thank you. And there's 2 of you. I'm hoping more will jump on board. And I would appreciate that, and I will thank you. But those 2 individuals already, thank you very much. I do appreciate it. It makes me feel good. It warms my dark little heart when people actually show an interest in some of the things that I do, like bringing this award-winning blog, WheelersDog.com, to the podcast realm. And again, thanks to my buddy Jeff Kay at the West Virginia Surf Report. His latest podcast, he asked for a 2-minute clip, and he would promote it on his podcast. So he was kind enough to do that with me talking about the Poop Map app. And I feel very fortunate to be clipped on the end of his episodes. If you haven't listened all the way to the end, there's like an added little sound bite. So that was a big honor. Not only just to be on his podcast with a little clip, but also to be at the very end. At the very end. So again, thank you, Jeff Kay. The West Virginia Surf Report podcast. Again, just about everywhere that you get podcasts. He's looking into the YouTube thing. So hey, at least I gave him an idea to do something. Well, folks, this does it. I'm going to get out of here. I've got some beef and broccoli to prepare for dinner, because when Jamie comes home from a hard day at work, and she does work hard, and I'm talking about Chigs, she expects something to eat. So that's kind of my job. I was going to do a double run today to Raleigh and back, but I just said, I'm not in it. I need to get this podcast recorded and make some beef and broccoli. Yeah. It's one of the best things I ever got was a wok. Love it. Anyway, I'm out. Thank you for listening. No, he's outside. He's sleeping in the Dodge.